Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. Is match preview showtime. Unfortunately, a day later than normal. Big apologies on my part because, unfortunately, my laptop has decided to stop playing ball. Camera has mysteriously uninstalled itself, so I can't actually log on to any StreamYard or Zoom or the such at the moment. So, having to record a day late. Planned to have Simon from Walsall Fan TV on, so he will still be making an appearance, but unfortunately it won't be live. But he has kindly recorded a segment and answered some questions. So let's get into this. We'll try and follow the same format as usual, and of course that means looking at recent form first and foremost. So for the Gills, last 6 has yielded 10 points from 18. We currently sit 10th with 42 points from 28 games this season. In them 6 games, we have seen off the likes of Sutton, Colchester and Accrington. There's been a draw at home to Forest Green and then frustrating defeats at home to Crawley and on the road at MK Dons. If you look at the Sadlers, same record, 10 points from the last 18. Same amount of wins, same amount of draws, same amount of defeats. Trio of wins have come against Crewe Alexandra, Wrexham and Grimsby by the tune of 6-1. That a ridiculous away performance. There's been a couple of defeats against Accrington and Stockport and a solitary draw against strugglers Sutton in their most recent game. And they are currently 13th with 37 points from just 27 games. So a big game in store. Walsall will be thinking if they can win it against us at the weekend and win their game in hand, they jump over us in the table and it would put them within touching distance of the playoff places. Like I say, Simon was meant to be on, but I've sent him a few questions and he's been kind enough to send back his answers, so I will leave you in his capable hands for the next few minutes.
Walsall Fan TV for match preview 2 for Walsall away to Gillingham. Was planning to talk to Matt from Gills in the Blood, but had problems technically. So I have a couple of questions from Matt, which fan opinion of Matt Sadler. Well, we had kind of given up on Matt Sadler in some respects. Things weren't going well for him. But Ben Boycott came back over, the chairman from America, give everybody a bit of a cuddle or a rollicking, whatever way you look at it. And Walsall turned the corner, particularly away to Notts County. Bit of a masterclass, really, tactically. Matt Sadler got back to 3-5-2. Tom Knowles tied up Jody Jones for the whole of the game, and we won that game. So that was good. And then some good results in December, and things were looking good. But then we've had a bit of a break, come back from a bit of a break, and things sort of seem to have sort of fell back a little bit. Jackson Smith had been in goal and been doing well. He was dropped, and Owen Evans came back in for Saturday, and he had a bit of a wobbly performance, but we managed to get a draw out of it against Sutton. So maybe the jury's out on Matt Sadler again. I had sort of fell off the fence and then climbed back on, but I'm wobbling again with him. Second question about the loss of Freddie Draper. I mentioned this on my preview just a little bit. Freddie Draper, 56% contribution to goals in the games he played for us, and a 32% conversion rate from the chances he had. Mo Fall, he's the replacement, and he's got a 31% contribution. You would think perhaps with Doncaster struggling, he didn't have so many chances, but he had 48 shots to Freddie's 31 and only converted 17%. So that is a concern. Let's hope that the Walsall effect can get him moving. But Freddie will be a loss. And I think at the moment, depending on how well Mo Fall and Josh Gordon do, he's come on loan from Burton. Depending on how well they do, is how big a loss Freddie Draper's going to be. But We don't know yet, but it's going to be perhaps a loss, really. Key players, you would think with 9 goals and 5 assists, Isaac Hutchinson is clearly the man to watch. But since Jack Earing has been back, he's only played 8 games, got 2 goals, 2 assists. Him working with Isaac Hutchinson has been a big change for us. Another player who's key in some respects is Tom Knowles. He's getting a lot of the ball as right wing back, but it's just his final ball is letting him down. If he can start connecting with those, then he is going to be a massive player for us. But at the moment, it's somewhat disappointing. My score prediction, I would probably take a 0-0 really, but a win for Walsall is what they need if we're going to start catching the Gills. The Gills, I always get that one mixed up. Of course, you guys are 5 points ahead of us, but we've got game in hand, so if we can get a result on Saturday, we can step over you and get into the top 10, which is what we want to do. I'm sure you have other plans. Right then, catch up with you next time, Matt. Walsall Fan TV, the joy and the pain.
Plenty of stuff there for us to get our teeth into as opposition fans from Simon. So I really appreciate your time, mate. And again, apologies for having to let you down on Wednesday evening. So yeah, Matt Sadler seems to be a bit of a Marmite character, doesn't he? Was not well liked at the beginning of the season. I think Sadler's fans thought he was out of his depth. Then there's been a bit of a turnaround. And in recent weeks, Simon says he's sort of not sure again regarding whether Sadler is the man to keep taking his side forward. Obviously, Freddie Draper is a player that did very well for the team in the first part of the season. He has unfortunately been recalled from a Walsall point of view and now plays his trade at Lincoln City, I want to say, in League One. So a good step up for the player. Obviously, it's difficult when you have these players on loan because there is that chance that they get recalled if they do well. And that is what's happened with Draper. Remains to be seen whether Mo Farrell is the man to replicate similar numbers. Did all right, didn't he? As Simon said, in a struggling Doncaster side, I think he got 7 or 8 goals. For a team down the bottom, that's no mean feat at all. And I think in terms of key players that Simon's mentioned, Isaac Hutchinson's definitely the one that jumps off the page, isn't he? 11 goals and 5 assists this season. Absolutely destroyed us in the return fixture at the Bescott Stadium or the Poundland Stadium, whatever it's called now, back in October when we was under the tutelage of interim manager Keith Millen and lost 4-1. Hutchinson hat-trick, and we didn't get near him all afternoon, did we? Yeah, so it has all the makings of being a good game. I think we're going to have to be at our best. This isn't a case of us just turning up and we're going to roll this team over. Number one, we don't roll teams over. Number two, Walsall have been all right in recent weeks, and they've had some good results on the road, haven't they? Like I say, going to Accrington, they were unlucky, and then that massive win, though, against Grimsby Town was one that sort of stood out that weekend, wasn't it? So yeah, we're going to have to be our best. Like I say, I think the intriguing thing is it's going to be similar systems. Looks like Sadler employs a 3-5-2, middle 5 very flat, whereas we like to go 3-4-1-2 with one much further on in Conor Mahoney. So yeah, would be an intriguing battle, and yeah, a game that I'm very much looking forward to. Obviously, the fact that I'm recording a day late means that this is being done in conjunction with the final day of the transfer window. There is currently about 5 hours left as I record this at the moment. So likelihood is there'll be about 4 hours left by the time you're watching on the channel. A couple of outgoings already to report. Tom Nichols has left the club for a undisclosed fee and joined fellow promotion hopefuls Mansfield Town. I think Tom played 55 times for the Gills in his year in ME7. He scored 9 goals and I think provided 11 assists. I've only just tweeted it, I should remember. But the biggest thing for me is that we have to remember is that Tom played a massive part in getting us away from danger in the second half of last season. And for that, I think we'll all be eternally grateful. So we wish Nico all the best in his new adventure. Of course, we hope that he's either unavailable as a complete shocker when we travel to Mansfield in April. And the second departure was one that was slightly off radar, one that we didn't really see coming. There'd been no mention of it on social media and that type of thing, and that's Macaulay Bonne has linked up with former manager Neil Harris again, joining Cambridge United on loan for the rest of the season. Whether we get to see Macca in a Gills shirt ever again remains to be seen. Not sure what his contract situation is, but he was our top scorer. I tweeted at the time earlier today that it felt a strange decision at the time, but I would leave judgment until the end of the window, so later tonight. We have made one addition. The Gills tweeted a video accompanied by a Colombian flag and a young man talking in his native tongue, and that man is Jorge Hurtado. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly, but that is my best effort. He arrives for the rest of the season on loan from Championship outfit Watford. Not much to go on, to be honest. Hasn't played a lot of football for them. I think he's only made one appearance. Set up a goal on debut in the FA Cup, so a good start. Has been described as direct and quick and wanting to make things happen, but very raw. So I think it'd be a case of us getting him in between now and the end of the season and trying to polish what sounds like a rough diamond. But he offers pace and directness, and that's something that we've missed at the very top end of the pitch. So one to look out for and see how he gets on. But like I say, can't really say that I know anything about him. Right, final piece before we finish up this one is team news and score predictions. It's been announced by Stephen Clements earlier today in his press conference that Dom Jeffries has unfortunately torn or at least pulled a thigh muscle, so he's not going to be around for a few weeks. So that's a big blow again for Dom. It's just been very stop-start for him in recent weeks. It was very good in the centre of the park last weekend against MK Don, so it's a blow for him and a blow for us. Obviously, Macaulay Bond, Tom Nichols have moved on, so we won't be able to call on their services. We assume that Hurtado might be involved in some capacity, either from the start or from the bench. Ollie Hawkins, Clements has confirmed, has trained, so it looks like that groin problem that forced him off at Stadium MK Dons last weekend was not as bad as first feared, and fingers crossed he will be able to play his part at the weekend. So, starting 11 for me, I am going to make just the one change, I think. No, two changes, sorry. If it was up to me, I would bring in Johnny Williams in place of Dom Jeffries to try and get another player in there that takes care of the football and gets us on the front foot. And I would also take Ashley Nadesan. I was very vocal on my opinions of Ashley's form and confidence levels on the match day review last weekend. He just needs some time out of the spotlight for me. So I would bring in Josh Walker, scored on debut and was very, very good in the half-hour cameo. So for me, the team would be Jake Turner in goal, a back three of Connor Masterson, Maxima and Shadogi, wing-backs Romeo Hutton, Scotty Malone, Johnny Williams in the centre of the park with Ethan Coleman, and then Connor Mahoney in behind Walker and Ollie Hawkins. I did write down a bench. I had it as Glenn Morris, Max Clark, Robbie McKenzie, Jules Lapsley, Jaden Clark, Timmy Dieng and Ashley Nadesan. But, of course, we do now have Jorge Hurtado to call on, so I think he might end up on the bench. And the likelihood is that Jaden Clark will be the one that misses out. Right, finally, score prediction. I am going to go for a narrow win for the Gills. I think we're going to have to be very good at this one to get something out of it. Walsall have got good players. But yeah, I'm going to back Lewis Walker. Not Lewis Walker, he used to play for us. Josh Walker to score his second in as many games. And having had him on the channel on Monday and spoke to this man about his lack of goals, but it's not for want of trying. I'm going to back Ethan Coleman to open his account for the club in a 2-1 win. As always, thanks for watching. Please, if you've got this far, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button as we carry on our quest for 3,000 subscribers. All the best to those players that have left today so far, Tom Nichols and Macaulay Bond, and of course Shay Alexander that left earlier in the week. We welcome Jorge Hurtado, and fingers crossed he can be the exciting unknown element that might provide us with some cut and thrust in the final third. Who knows? By the end of play, we may have more through the door. We may have had through a few more gone out through the exit door. Such is the nature of transfer deadline day. And just like that, we do have another new addition through the door. Just as I was about to finish up recording this preview show, it has been announced that the Gills have further added to their striking options with the arrival of Josh Andrews from Championship outfit Birmingham City on a permanent deal for an undisclosed fee. Josh featured for fellow League Two outfit Accrington Stanley in the first half of the season and netted 6 times in 22 games in all competitions. Certainly looks the type that can compete with Ollie Hawkins. He's big, he's strong, he's burly. I remember the home game back in August. He was an absolute handful. He was a pain in the arse. And yeah, this looks like one that could be for the here and now, but could also be for the future. So we welcome Josh to the Gills and we wish him all the best moving forward. And I am, for the second time, going to try and end this video. I hope that the rest of your week is not too stressful, and we will be back Saturday, myself, Ava and all the gang, for another match day live. But until then, up the Gills.